Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode 410 and Doubleshot number 331. Yeah, another audio-only one because, well, still waiting for my laptop to get back, so kind of stuck with this. Yeah, simply put, yeah, it's Batman trades basically. Though this is the New 52 costume basically, but this is not his current costume, but this is his second most recent costume he's known for wearing, so yeah, I kind of figured though, why not use this one as a cover photo, for this video. Okay. All right. First up, it is Batman Volume 10 Epilogue, the last trade that collects the Scott Snyder run for Batman, which collects uh, Batman Volume 2 issues 51 and 52, Batman Futures End number 1, Batman Annual number 4, and Batman Rebirth number 1. Scott Snyder only writes a couple of the books in here. He writes issue 51, and he also co-writes the Batman Rebirth special. The Futures End one shot is written by Ray Fox. 52, issue 52 of Batman Volume 2, and Batman number 4, that's written by James Tynion IV, who's the current writer of Detective Comics. Now, basically, the way this trade is ordered, books in here, first it's the Futures End one shot, which I didn't think was all that good initially. It's okay. It's simply put Batman basically where his back is broken once again, and he finds the clone of he finds Bizarro, a failed clone of Superman, and he comes to the idea, oh yeah, let's just clone myself. Yeah, it's one of the most bizarre Futures End one shots I've read, and it's considered to be not. It's considered to be one of the not so good ones. It's got good artwork by who does the artwork in this one? If I can find the page in here, the artwork in this book. It's probably on the last page because sometimes I do this basically where if they don't put it like at the beginning, okay, the artwork in here, okay, the story is written by Scott Snyder and Ray Fox, but it's written by Ray Fox. The artwork's by Akuru. It's actually okay artwork, but it's pretty decent for what it is. Next comes issue 51. Not 51. This is, I believe, yeah, this is the end. This is written by James Tynion IV, with artwork by Rod Antonio. Mm-hmm. Yes. Simply put, this is the annual where Bruce Wayne gets back Wayne Manor after he had been previously Arkham Asylum. Yep. Of course, Chappie Batman makes a cameo with Hard Bullet. Yep. Alfred's there, still missing his hand, though he does get back at the end. And the villains that are seen here basically are Clayface, the Riddler, and Mr. Freeze. Yep. They were the last three inmates transported out, and simply put, yeah, the whole point of this is still trying to get Bruce Wayne to remember he's Batman, though they don't want him. They don't want the villains to find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, which, as far as I know, currently none of them do. Yep, it's actually a really damn good annual, and it just shows basically that how good stuff it is. And yeah, so it's just basically like uh, them all fighting in Wayne Manor. And also, for some reason, the Riddler thought it'd be a good idea to rip open his shirt and show off all of his scars for some reason. Yeah, and also previously, his most recent appearance, he has a question tattoo on his frickin' belly. No idea why that the artist thought that Danny Mickey thought that was a good idea, but yeah, it's good for what it is. Now issue 51 is actually Greg Capullo's last official issue that he drew, and it's simply put dealing with like a blackout in Gotham City, and we also get to see more villains because of Scott Snyder's last issue. We get a chance to see in this issue. We get a chance to see Killer Croc, who's currently part of the Suicide Squad, Scarecrow, Riddler, Poison Ivy, Bane, a weird-looking Mr. Freeze, and I think the other one's supposed to be Clayface. Yeah. We also get a chance to see a brief appearance by the Court of Owls. Yep. Well, it's Scott Snyder. You can't do the Court of Owls without him, like for his last appearance, for his last official issue. We also get a chance to see Black Mask in the mask that he would sport in a lot of the Rebirth books. He sported this in the first arc of All-Star Batman, and he also sported this, I believe, also in the first arc of Red Hood and the Outlaws, Volume 2. We also get a chance to see, I believe this is supposed to be Great White Shark. Yeah, he's part of the Terrible Trio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically there's a blackout in Gotham City, and Batman thinks nothing's there, so yeah. And the last issue, which is written by James Tynion. Yeah, he writes this one with Billy Rosemont basically doing the artwork. Now this is actually a really dang good final issue of the volume. It's just basically just a story of Bruce Wayne, still a flashback with appearance by, I have no idea who this villain is. It just basically some strange villain who uses these weird abilities. Mm-hmm. After villains, like big name villains, there are officially none. Basically, just the whole point of this issue is just Batman learning a lesson from the past. Yep. And that's really it for the issues. Of course, they threw in the Rebirth one shot, and by the way, it's the entire issue. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's most of the issue itself, which is written by Tom King and Scott Snyder, with artwork by Mikhail Janin, who I think is the current artist of the Jokes and Riddles arc. The issues in here are fine. I would say every single one of them are good, except for the Futures End one shot, which it's okay, but everything else in here is great. Um, yeah. Despite the fact the library decided to label this as Volume 9, it's actually on the cover it says Volume 10, even though the library labeled this as Volume 9. No idea why they did that for what they did. But yeah, as of now, I officially reviewed every single trade that collects Scott Snyder's run, except for Volume 4, which the library never got that one, surprisingly. So, I'm going to give Batman Volume 10 Epilogue a 9 out of 10. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's pretty good writing for all the issues. Great artwork. Is there any artist I forgot to mention in here? Brian Livell. I think he does one of the other issues. I'm not really sure which one though, but yeah. But good issues nonetheless. Next up is a book I purchased at Books A Million. Mother Panic, Volume 1, Work in Progress, written by Jody Holster and artwork by Tommy Lee Edwards, and I believe the other one is Sean Crystal. Yeah, excuse me, Sean Crystal. I'm actually familiar with that artist. I believe, yeah, this is also the same artist who did the Archimedes, Gary Duggan's Archimedes series. Now, Mother Panic is a brand new character, and I've spoken to Jodie Holster about this one, the writer. According to her, Mother Panic is, well, it's set in the current DC universe. It's set in the Rebirth universe DC's doing right now. The series only launched I believe, I think it was last year, wasn't it? No, it might have been late last year. It could have been this year. I don't know, but yeah. And the character herself is created by Jodie Holster, Gerald Way, who was the caretaker of the Young Animal imprint, and Tommy Lee Edwards. Now, this is just her beginning and her beginnings as a crime fighter. Though for some reason, I have no idea why that Jodie Holster thought this was a good idea. Uh, yeah, in the first few issues, the character is dropping f-bombs. No, seriously, she's dropping f-bombs. Also, her speech balloons actually are quite unique. In that whenever the person who is let's see, Violent Page, yes, Violent Page, who is Mother Panic, yeah. For some reason, when she is Mother Panic, basically her speech balloons are very rectangular. Yeah, and her suit is like an all-white suit, white cape, white gauntlets, white mask. It's actually a really good costume, and she also's got kind of like a flying motorcycle as her main vehicle, and she gets to beat up a lot of bad guys, though she doesn't kill anybody, surprisingly. And her villain is that there's this person basically runs this type of house. I think so. Also, one thing really neat about the variant covers, they threw those in here as well. They're actually old homages to old Batman covers from the 70s. And the way you read the comic, it's kind of like you're reading a comic from the 1970s. In a way, the way it's set up, the way the panels are. Um, Sean Crosser does a great job drawing this stuff. And there's one issue, I think it's the second issue, you get a chance to see Violet Page in the nude, though you don't get a chance to see any nipples or butt crack. Uh, but yeah, you can see her whole body is covered with scars. Yep, her whole body is covered with scars. And there's something else I'll talk about in a minute. But she also gets a chance to meet Batman in the first issue, which spoke like one word. Yeah, Jodie Hall's like, yeah, I wrote Batman in one issue. Batwoman shows up for issues 2 and 3, and after like the first half of the after issue 3, which is kind of like the end of kind of like the first part of the first arc, uh, she and Batman have no problem with Mother Panic at all, and because she proves she's a capable crime fighter, and yeah, and so she also got a chance to fight her, and yeah, after the first 2 issues, the character basically dropped using f bombs. Also, basically, it's kind of even though it's set in DC, the DC Rebirth stuff, I would probably say it takes place around the same time as the first arc of. I would say probably not long after the first arc of Detective Comics. That's probably when this is taking place. That's my personal guess, anyways. But yeah, um, and then we move on to something else, basically, where it's the second arc is known as second arc is called Broken Things, where oh yeah, and she stopped using f bombs. Yep, where she just breaks into a lab. Well, tries to stop Robert, but yeah. Uh, these are all really good issues. I got to admit, yeah. Jodie Hall does a great job. Now, prior to this series coming out, the only book I was familiar with that she had done was the book Faith, and she also worked on the. She co-wrote the Justice League America Rebirth one shots, which basically gave rebirth for the Atom, the Ray, Killer Frost, and I don't remember. Oh yeah, Vixen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one thing also really neat about the series is that it has a backup feature. Yep, a backup feature, which the trade puts it at the end, just interrupt the flow of the book, which is great. This is actually the second time I've seen this where a series has a backup feature, an ongoing series, and I've seen this also with Batman and All Star Western, where they have a backup feature, but they put it at the end of the trade. Now the backup feature is called Gotham Radio. Yeah, it's called Gotham Radio, and it's written by Jim Kruger and artwork is by Phil Hester. Now, this is just other stuff going on. Now, one thing kind of neat about these stories, now the stories themselves are not very long. They're only like 3 pages. Yeah, 3 pages, and that's it. Mm-hmm. It just features other characters that are around Gotham, basically. That I guess they have a good idea. There's one issue. There's one I believe it's called Acquaintance Remembered, and there's this old man that this woman gets a visit, and it's the Odd Man. Yep, the Odd Man, a character created by Steve Ditko back in the '70s, who was meant to be sort of like Shade the Changing Man, in a way, but the comic itself was canceled before I got a chance to introduce him. But the story itself was printed twice. It was printed in an issue of Detective Comics, and it also was printed in the Cancer Comic Fabricate. But as for his coat that it's seen here, the coat later went to the second Shade of Changing Man, created by Peter Mulligan, who actually wore this coat throughout, from what I can tell, maybe the entire series. I haven't read the Peter Mulligan run, but I did see the character wearing it. So yeah, but yeah, this these this quick little 3 part backup, this 3 page backup page was great. As far as I can tell, I think after the first 6 issues they stopped doing this, putting a backup feature in the book. But yeah, um, Mother Panic is great. Uh, that's one of the reasons why, excuse me, I purchased the trade because I enjoy reading the series. So I got the book. It's actually the only non-rebirth book I actually got. It's actually the first of the Young Animal books that I actually want to get into. Once I get a job again, I'm hoping to this is hoping I'm hoping this will be one of the series I actually start to subscribe to, along with books like Doom Patrol and others. Yeah, but the Young Animal imprint is known for itself doing weird. Uh, a lot of their books known for doing that. Not Mother Panic. Mother Panic is basically very serious in a way. Um, and she doesn't take stuff too. And even though it's a serious book, there's not much time for humor, but it kind of feels like a female version of Batman, in a way, but without being related to Batman in some way, shape, or form. Kind of like with Batwoman and Batgirl. Batwoman is related to Batman by blood because she's Bruce Wayne's cousin. Batgirl, name only. Though she's the daughter of the commissioner of the GCPD. Yeah. Um, Not much else I can say about the Mother Panic other than just try it out. I highly recommend Mother Panic. It's a great comic book. Um, I know the most recent issue that came out, issue 8, featured an appearance by the Ratcatcher out of costume. Yeah, the Ratcatcher. A, a C-list supervillain who was created by Alan Grant. Yep, he made an appearance in the most recent issue of the series. So, yeah. Um, what do I give Mother Panic Volume 1 Work in Progress? I give this book a 9 out of 10. It's really good. Um, it's pretty good storytelling, and if you want to jump on the series now, it's it's not too hard to get the it's gonna be kind of hard to find the first 6 issues at a comic shop because first back they might go with maybe a couple months prior to the most recent issue. They might go back as far back as issue 5, but they won't have the first 4 issues. So I recommend getting the trade and then getting the 2 most recent issues that came out for the series, and you're pretty much caught up with the series. Um, but yeah, uh, do the but before I go, I have a few minutes. I want to talk about the Young Animal imprint so far. Basically, the other book of Mother Panic have been Doom Patrol, Shady Changing Girl, Cave Cards and a Cybernetic Eye. There's also Bug, which is written by Lee Aldred, and the artwork is by his brother Mike Aldred, and Mike Aldred's wife Laura Aldred, basically who does the inking and the colors. I think there was anything else. Uh, yeah, I think that's it for the Young Animal imprint. Young Animal so far is really good. It's meant to be weird because, well, Jared Way is a fan of weird stuff. So yeah. Now Jared Way, I think, just writes. He writes Doom Patrol, and he writes. There's one other book I think he writes. He doesn't write Mother Panic. He did help create her. He had nothing to do with the series itself. That's all Jodie Holster basically developing the character. I'm trying to think. I think the only book he might be doing is maybe Cave Carson, Cybernetic Eye. I think that's it. Yeah. Um, Now, when I first initially heard Young Animal, I thought this was going to be imprint basically set from DC Universe, but according to Jodie Holster and Jerry Conway, it's set in the current DC Universe, which I'm like, okay, that's good. I appreciate that. I was never hesitant about Mother Panic at all because, well, the name interests me in the fact it's set in Gotham City. So, yeah, that piqued my interest. And plus, also because Jodie Holster writes it, because, well, she does a great job writing Faith. Though the series Faith right now is. It just recently released 12 issues in the series current hiatus for a mini-series Faith in the Future Force, which Jodie Holster is writing as well, which I think the first issue is coming out really soon. I'm looking forward to reading it. But yeah, uh, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for episode 411 and Doubleshot number 332. Yeah, 332. But yeah, that's it. Rider Panic is great. Batman Epilogue is pretty good as well. Though I also recommend for Batman also get the first 9 volumes just so you get the entire complete run of Scott Snyder. And currently you can find Scott Snyder on All-Star Batman, which is ending soon. Yes, All-Star Batman is ending. Yep, it is ending. After only just 14 issues. No idea why. I'm like, when I heard it was King Cancer, I'm like, wow, that's a short series. Yeah. So, yeah, nothing really much else. Yeah. So I'll see you all at my next review, which I'm hoping soon might be a video review. First time in a couple weeks I'll be able to do that. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.